Hi, I'm Blair Gilbert, here from MrHardware.com and Gilbert's Pro Hardware in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, here to talk about how to get a pesky vacuum breaker off your outside garden faucet. So what these are, this is a little check valve that the National Plumbing Code wants to have on every faucet, or the faucet has to have a built-in vacuum breaker that prevents water from your garden hose to be able to go backwards into the house plumbing system. These are fairly inexpensive, around $6. The problem is they make it with a little skinny break-off point on the set screw. So after this gets threaded onto the faucet, to prevent the landscaper or someone else from stealing it, or just from unthreading it by mistake as they unthread the garden hose, because this is the same thread coming and going. It's going on to a garden hose thread, and it provides a garden hose thread. And as I says, this is the National Plumbing Code is requiring this. So the guy put this on, and he tightened it. Put this on, and he tightened it. And what happens is, the darn screw, now if they stopped there, we'd be good. If this ever went bad, we could just undo the screw. We could unthread the vacuum breaker, because it's got a rubber gasket that does fail after so many years. But many times, these get put on, and they tighten it till the screw breaks off. Thusly, the screw broke off, leaving the vacuum breaker installed on the faucet. Wonderful. It's all good until the vacuum breaker fails. Now I can't get it off. If I try to unthread it, the set screw sticking into the faucet as it turns around will mangle the threads, so you can't get the darn thing off. Two ways to get it off. First way, take a drill. We have to get on the dead center of the screw with a sharp drill bit. Stop and check, make sure you stay on the center. If you get off center, you will never get back onto the center, because once you get into the soft brass, you've ruined the job, and then we'll go for plan B. You can feel, as soon as you go through the screw, the change in the drill bit. Stop there, you've just hit the threads. Now you can safely put in a larger drill bit, I'd say about 11/64. And what happens when we do the same drill, when we get through, we've killed the metal screw, and we can unthread the. So you can see we put a little damage into the threads. However, we didn't ruin the threads all the way around. We've removed the screw by drilling it out. We removed the bad vacuum breaker, and now we can put in our new one. And the trick that I do with the new one is, I take and get a 5mm stainless steel metric set screw, and I install them, and I put it on with the metric set screw so that I can take it off with an Allen wrench. So when this goes bad, I will not have to scrap or ruin the faucet or go through all this hassle. I will only need an Allen wrench to remove the vacuum breaker. So here is the same vacuum breaker that I just drilled the screw out, and I was lucky. I stayed dead center. Not very common. It is easier on a bench than it is out on your house, but we're doing it here on the bench because it is easier and I got better video. Anyhow, so we didn't ruin the thread. So here's a 5mm stainless steel set screw. So we use that in our vacuum breakers when we're doing this at any complexes that I'm involved with, because in the hardware store here we trade with numerous people, and so we're constantly helping different municipalities and whatnot maintain their grounds. So this is how an easy way to maintain the grounds, because you use a 2.5mm Allen wrench, a 5mm set screw. There. Now I've locked that same vacuum breaker onto the faucet, but I did it with an Allen wrench. So 5 years from now, when this vacuum breaker fails, I come along with the 2.5mm Allen wrench, undo the set screw, remove the vacuum breaker, put on the new one, and I recommend not using the break-off screw. In order to do this job, you need to go get a good quality high-speed steel, 3/32 and 11/64 drill. The 3/32 is imperative that you can get down the center of that screw. If you don't have the skill to drill down the center of that rusty little set screw that's in there, you probably aren't going to be able to pull this off, warning you now. And when you go through, you need to feel that you're only going in 1/8 of an inch. When you hit the faucet, the drilling changes. You stop. Then you put the larger drill bit. When you go back in, you could be like I did, that when you drilled out the metal, it took out all the metal and you were able to take it off. So 2 good quality high-speed steel bits are imperative. There have been times when I can't drill it out, the set screw is in the wrong spot. I've had to take a hacksaw and cut through the brass right through the old set screw. And after I've sawn through the brass and I've started to cut through into the threads of the faucet, I've taken a slotted screwdriver, this brass is soft and weak, and just pried the brass apart and then unthreaded it. However, for $5 worth of 2 small drill bits and a drill and a lot less effort, it's easier to drill it out than it is to saw it off. But if you have no drill and you can saw with a hacksaw through the middle of the screw, you can remove it that way also.